Hi, I'm Phil Aston and this is Now Spinning Magazine, and in this video we're looking at The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, the classic 1974 album from Genesis, and this is the 50th anniversary Super Deluxe edition. So before I start talking about what I think of the music, what I think of the package, let's have a look at it. So let's have a look inside the box. This is Genesis, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, 50th anniversary Super Deluxe edition, 4 CDs and a Blu-ray. The 2025 remasters of the actual studio album, 1974 stereo mix from the original tapes, live from the Shrine Auditorium, previously released encore, Dolby Atmos mix, overseen by Peter Gabriel and Tony Banks at Real World Studios, and plus previously released demos for download from the legendary Headley Grange sessions, and a 60-page illustrated book with rare images and a tour programme. On the back, you've got all the track listings for everything that's included in the box. In the box itself, we have the discs are housed in 2 fold-out booklets, or folders, I should say, really. So this is the first 2, so the original album is on the left-hand side and the live one is on the right. And the second one of those folders again has a picture of taken from the original vinyl album, and we have the Blu-ray disc on the left, which is in a anti-static sleeve to protect it, and on the right here is the program, which is an exact replica of the program from the time, made obviously a little bit smaller, but again for people that love this kind of stuff, it's great to have that included. And there's also a poster which I'll bring up on the screen as I do this, because it's rather too big to show you as I'm doing this. So there it is. And then there's also a ticket stub from the actual tour, and on the back is your code to download the album, which you can only use once, obviously. So that's in the second folder. And then we have the booklet. So there's something moving along the sidewalk steam. So this is really nice and well put together. As you know, sometimes I prefer these to be hardback books, but for costs I imagine they've decided to do softback. But when it's this size, I think it works absolutely fine. So lots of photographs that I'd never seen before, and a nice story behind the album itself, all from Headley Grange 1974. So there's lots of stuff to read here, lots of background information on the album itself, and then obviously lots of pictures of tape boxes, because we wouldn't be the same without them, and some behind the scenes shots from the actual cover art as well, which is really interesting to see. And then we've got a lot of the pictures actually from the cover art. And Steve Hackett with a moustache and beard, which is hard for him to recognise him out of all the characters really from the Genesis band. Lots of slides from there, and then lots of stuff about the stage gear that was used at the time, which is fascinating behind the scenes. As I put together the stage show there, pictures of Gabriel, then the shots of the stage gear actually being used in action. So lots of live shots. A lot of this stuff I'd not seen before. So it's great if you're a Genesis fan to have this all in one box. And then there's Genesis Live 1974, 1975, all the dates they played promoting Lamb Lies Down. You've got the lyrics from the album itself, more pictures from the album cover, and then all the actual credits, the original album credits are here, and then the 2025 remaster issue credits are also listed here as well, the Dolby Atmos credits. And that's that. So that is a look inside Genesis Lamb Lies Down Super Deluxe Edition, and I'll give you an overview of the sound. So that's a look inside the 50th anniversary edition of The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway by Genesis. So this is the Super Deluxe edition. This is the CD and Blu-ray version. What are my thoughts? Is this an album I know a lot about? Is it an album I've known for a long time? It is. This is my. Actually, no. This is German pressing from. I think I bought this in the 80s when I was somewhere else. My original version on vinyl on the Charisma label is here. So this goes back a very long time. This goes back to the mid 70s. Not bought exactly when it came out, but just a couple of years afterwards. And I've also bought what was classed at the time as the definitive remaster, which a lot of people don't like those. These are the 1993, 94 editions. And I've also got a Japanese pressing of the Lamb Lies Down on mini CD vinyl replica type thing as well. So I know the album well. So to compare this, because let's do the music first, shall we? I put on my original vinyl album, and for the train spotters out there who want to know what was I doing, this is on a Technics 1500 deck with a Autophon Blue cartridge and through a Fawcett Audio X5 phono preamp. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I don't want you to think I've got some huge audiophile system. It's an average system, but it's a good system. I like the sound it produces. It goes through tannoy speakers, and I use a Denon amp. So it's so that was my kind of like benchmark for the vinyl. For the CD, I'm using a Grox and CD transport with a Chord Q-Test DAC, which I'm really pleased with. Those are quite new additions to my system. So that's what I use to play the music. Now, some people I've already seen online saying they don't like they felt that the package looked cheap. I don't agree. I think this kind of 10-inch design for this, what's in it, I think it's fine. So this, as you saw, is fine with me. So I played the CD remasters first, and it wasn't a huge leap of jaw-dropping difference in what I've already know from listening to the vinyl and the CDs through my system and listening to these. Yeah, there was a bit of a difference, but not something I go, oh my God. It's not like some of the things I've talked about on this channel where I've said you just won't believe the difference in the remaster. It didn't leap out at me. I'll do what came next, which is the live album. Now, I've got no reference point for this because this is the first time I have owned these live stuff from January 24th, 1975 at the Shrine Auditorium in Los Angeles. My view on this was, wow. I thought this was stunning, absolutely stunning. I think only the encores are unreleased technically, but I've never heard any of it before. So whether it's been buried in some Genesis box set that costs tons of money now, but I thought the live concert was absolutely stunning. So I can't compare what it was like before, but my feeling is looking at the credits is a lot of work has gone into that, but it sounds amazing. The next part is the memorabilia. So this little concert ticket here has the download code for a couple of tracks that aren't in the package, which are described as download card for the Headley Grange demos. So this is the Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, Fly on the Windshield, take 1, the Chamber of 32 Doors, the Lamia 1 and 2, and In the Cage with strange vocals. I don't know whether the target audience for this really does much downloading, and so why you couldn't have put another disc in somewhere to put those on, unless you really feel that they're for really enthusiasts only, I don't know. And I haven't downloaded them yet, so I can't comment on them. Including the program from the time is brilliant. I love that. I love this kind of memorabilia. It's great. And the poster is also interesting, but I'm not going to put it on the wall, but it's nice to have. It's the kind of thing that when I'm listening to this, I might take in and out and reacquaint myself with what it looks like. And then we have the Blu-ray. Now, this is interesting in that, and this is very important for those of you who this is aimed at, because some of you are obviously thinking, I love Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. I'm just going to get this. I'm just going to get this. You've seen the booklet. It's not hardback copy, but the paper stock and the cover is slightly bigger, slightly wider than the pages, which gives it a better feel. And the paper stock is also different than most of these softback books. The quality and the print and the story and everything, I'm going to give that a 10. I'm fine with that not being a hardback book. I think that's fine. And all the credits are at the back. And so, as I say, we've got the 2025 remaster reissue credits, remastered from the original 1974 tapes by Miles Showell, who knows his stuff, Abbey Road Studios. I've reviewed a lot of stuff that he does. And also live from the Shrine, as I've already mentioned, originally recorded, King Biscuit Flower House. So it's a radio broadcast, collated, engineered and remixed by Nick Davis. Now, that's probably what has made the difference here, is it's remixed and it sounds absolutely stunning, as I've mentioned. And then it's been remastered as well, obviously. Now, the original, the album itself, we have the Dolby Atmos mix on the Blu-ray. So when you put the Blu-ray on, there's no moving in. It's not like the Gentle Giant live album with lots of graphics and things flying around. It's just a picture of the tracks. That's it. And it says Dolby Atmos or stereo. But the stereo version is the remaster. It hasn't been remixed. So you play the remaster on the Blu-ray, and it just feels marginally different. And that's why I've mentioned what I'm playing it on. It's just on my system. It just, if I was going from one to the other, well, I think, gosh, this is obviously the 2025 remaster. I'll just have to check. Okay, now, so if you're thinking of buying this because you're expecting a stereo remix, there isn't one. Okay, and my kind of feeling is that they must have put all the multi-tracks up because Tony Banks and Peter Gabriel were involved in the Dolby Atmos mix, overseeing it, but they just concentrated on the Dolby Atmos mix. What's that like? If you have a surround sound system, you have a Blu-ray player, then this becomes and you're a fan of Genesis, then this becomes one of the essential purchases that you're going to make this year. Yes, it's light and day. It's as light and day in that when I put it on, and I have a 5.1 system, but I have a Dolby Atmos amp that can decode up to 11.2. But the way Dolby Atmos works is obviously a lot of it at the back is high speakers, and so it folds down. What I'm trying to say is Dolby Atmos in 5.1 sounds fine to me. These little discrete speakers and everything, I haven't got that far yet. I've got to talk to other people who live in the house. Do they want all these things hanging from the ceiling? So 5.1 works, okay? So what's it like? I'm going to be really, really honest here because this is how it affected me. I've played the album now 3 times, so I'm back in amongst it. But hearing it like this, I could feel my eyes welling up with emotion because I'm almost feeling it now as I start to say it out loud. Is that I was immersed in an album that all of a sudden, everything that it was supposed to show me or I was supposed to experience from it was now obtainable in a way that I never could have imagined. I always felt with this that Steve Hackett, who I'm a huge fan of, was kind of, especially on this album, his guitar prowess and everything he does is kind of buried in the mix. You can see why later on and then there were 3 that Mark Rutherford thought he could just kind of go off and say, well, we've replaced you. I'm doing those parts or something. But you can't, because this is why I'm bouncing around a bit, but you just have to bear with me. The Lamb Stands Up live at the Royal Albert Hall with Steve Hackett. When you listen to Steve Hackett interpreting this music now, you realise just how much inside him he wanted to show what he could do on the guitar, how he wanted to represent, his part on this album. What I'm coming round to saying is, the Dolby Atmos mix takes off the blanket, or not a blanket because it's not a muddy mix in the first place, is it? It's probably a little bit high end or a bit trebly. It's not enough mid-range or oomph in it, really. Is that because there's so much space now amongst the instruments and in the sound stage, you can hear everything. And Steve Hackett's guitar is moving diagonally across the room in certain tracks, but you can hear everything. You are right in the middle of this cinematic experience, because lyrically it's a story. It could be a film. I'm sure Peter Gabriel thought this could be a film. He's got the script, he's got the story, and we've got the music. So sitting there on my sofa and at a fair volume, and this album is just swirling around me in precise hearing. It sounds like it was recorded last week. It sounds like this is the new album from a band called Genesis. And the other thing was like, if I can, in particular tracks, I've got to mention this one, I think. Lily White Lilith. You're so used to hearing Peter Gabriel say Lily White Lilith. But and again, this could be just me, but hearing the Dolby Atmos version, you actually hear Peter Gabriel, his dictation is every single word can be heard. So it's Lilith, with such precision and space around his voice that it is literally as if you are on stage with them. And there's just so much going on. There was so much I heard on this Dolby Atmos version of Lamb Lies Down I just wasn't aware of. And I've lived with this album for decades. I'll admit that I've always felt that the original way it sits against Selling Them by the Pound, I always felt was a better produced album. What came later, I always felt this one kind of didn't have the dynamic range of other Genesis albums that came before or afterwards, actually. But now, on the Dolby Atmos version, it does in spades. So I don't know why there isn't a new stereo mix of it, because that's, I think, a surprise. And I don't mean that because it was going to be a new stereo remix that replaced the other mixes. What I'm so used to seeing on these, and this is where Stephen Wilson always gets the ticks on, and also Stephen W. Taylor, who does a lot of stuff on Hawkwind and Cherry Red, etc., and Bebop Deluxe, and loads of stuff, is on the Blu-ray, you will have the Dolby Atmos mix, you'll have a 5.1 DTS mix or a 5.1 HD mix. You don't, you just get Dolby Atmos. You would get a new stereo remix. You don't. And you would also get the new stereo remaster. You do. And you might even get a needle drop vinyl remaster as well. I mean, that's the thing, you see. That's what, if you're going to call something a Super Deluxe edition, and people are going to buy something that they've already got. And I know there's a part of the market here who are buying this who perhaps have just got into Genesis recently. The price point for this isn't bad. It's about 60, 70 quid. And they probably think, I'm going to give a go. That's one of their best albums, isn't it? It's seen as one of the prog classics. Fine. But I think that most of the target audience want to see all of that. But I think the only thing missing here, which is unusual, and tell me if I'm completely misreading this and I'm wrong, it would be the stereo remix, not to replace the original, but to have as an alternative. But apart from that, I like the booklet, I like the package, I like what's included, and the Dolby Atmos mix is honestly, if you do have a surround sound system and a Blu-ray player, and you're a Genesis fan of any kind, or Steve Hackett, whatever, Peter Gabriel, all of them, Michael and the Mechanics, Tony Banks, Phil Collins, then this is essential for you. I honestly mean that. Some of you are going, well, can't I just buy the Blu-ray and sound? You can't, it's in a box. I don't know what the vinyl one's like, but the Dolby Atmos mix, you'll put that on, and for instance, I'll finish on this because a lot of people will understand this. Those of us who like hi-fi and buy these things because of improved sound or whatever else, and we've got a partner, my wife, Sue, musician, appears on this channel quite a few times. She loves music and all the rest of it. And I'll be playing things and I'll say, this is the new version. This is Blu-ray. And she'll go, yeah. I say, you can tell the difference, can't you, between this and the other one? She'll go, I didn't notice. And a lot of you out there will recognize that kind of reaction. You go, no, but you don't understand, this is the new. You're trying to almost like justify the fact you bought something for the 5th time, but because it sounds so much better, and your partner's going, yeah, if you say so. It's like one of those memes, isn't it? Put on the Dolby Atmos version, and Sue looks up from her book and goes, wow, is this the Lamb Lies Down? Yes. That is the difference. Carpet crawlers, and it is that good. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Remember, music is the healer and the doctor. Let me know in the comments what you think of this album, whichever version you have, what you think, if you're going to get this, if you've already got it. And please subscribe to the YouTube channel, ring that little bell thing, visit the website at nowspinning.co.uk. We're on Facebook, we're on every social media channel, but we also have some private communities on Facebook and WhatsApp for people who become patrons or YouTube members, where you can talk to like-minded people in a really nice, safe environment. And we also have our own virtual pub called the Now Spinning Arms, which meets up twice a month. So take care, all of you. Keep spinning those discs. Oh, you get 15% off all merch as well. It's good, isn't it? Good, here. Right, so take care, and I'll see you all very, very soon.